So why might people be struggling to get to sleep, fall asleep, stay asleep on the carnivore diet? I've worked with over 400 clients at this point over the past 18 months, and I've pretty damn well understood what exactly has been happening to these people when they complain about sleep. Oftentimes, they're trying to push their body to a limit in terms of body composition, so they're trying to stuff their face to get big, or they're starving the crap out of themselves to get skinny. Usually, 9 times out of 10 is one of those things that's causing a problem. Now, if you undereat, cortisol will go up, and that's giving your body a fight or flight kind of signal or response to say, go out, go get some food right now. I don't enjoy being in this low body fat state. Now, in contrast to that, when you're eating too much food, you can end up bloated. When you're too bloated, you become inflamed. When you're inflamed, you can't sleep as well. Now, this is probably the most obvious thing to me, but let's dive a little bit deeper into what could be happening with your sleep patterns. All right, so enter melanopsin. This is the unsung hero of our body's internal clock, the thing that regulates our circadian rhythm. This photopigment is the maestro of our circadian rhythm. It's orchestrating a symphony of biological processes in the body that are exact to our species' design, evolved perhaps over the past few 100,000,000 years at least, to sort of get to where we are right now. How long that is, I don't know, I don't care. The important thing is we know it is critical for our sleep schedule. So what happens when we start to upset this circadian rhythm? It gets disrupted. But spoiler alert, it's not just our sleep that begins to suffer. Now, melanopsin, it has a reach which extends beyond the confines of our eyelids. So it's not just the visible stuff that we see. We also have different photoreceptors on our skin, which help absorb light. Although the highest concentration of this is around our eyes and in our eyelids, things like that, which makes sense. You know, we look towards the sun, we can see what's going on. Now, don't stare directly at the sun. I'd say maybe look 30 degrees off to the side of it, but not directly at it. Now, it signals different pathways which are intertwined with our mood, alertness, and even how our bodies process the fuel that we consume in the form of food. When melanopsin signals go haywire, it can spell trouble for our well-being, leading to a cascade of health issues. This is why luminaries like Dr. Doug Wallace stress the importance of syncing our light exposure for our body's natural rhythms. Now let's connect the dots in the most rudimentary way possible so it makes it easy for you guys to understand. Dr. Jack Kruse explains that there's some interplay between sunlight, our circadian hormonal rhythms, and what could be more significant than what we've ever imagined at this point. The correct light exposure is a cheat code to carnivores, and it's always being neglected. People think, oh, we don't sleep well. Oh, it's your macros. Yeah, broadly speaking, it is the macros which impact sleep in my experience. When I've tweaked to clients macros, the frequency of which they're eating, the timing, the amounts, the foods that they're eating, that seems to be the biggest indicator. But it doesn't make sense that we have to micromanage so carefully how much and what we eat in order to sleep well. I mean, sleep is an essential thing that we must do. So it doesn't make sense that we have to absolutely change our diet to improve our sleep. Obviously, it's a big lever, but it shouldn't be the main lever. So while the direct studies on melanopsin, the carnivore diet, remain sparse, and they'll probably always be sparse in my opinion, we do have the ketogenic diet, which is a cousin of the carnivore diet in a sense. Now, we look at the macronutrient breakdown. We're looking at a relatively high protein, relatively high fat, depending on what you're doing at the time, kind of diet. And it does work really well for pretty much everyone I've spoken to. Now, success leaves clues. What we've noticed is that some of these studies hint that our body has these light sensing capabilities, including melanopsin, which might play a role in how we adapt to such diets. And Dr. Sarah Pugh, someone I greatly admire, she has work on light, and she explains how there's a connection between light exposure and mitochondrial function. She explains this in really good videos, which make a lot of sense to me. She says it in non-convoluted terms, a way that is accessible to other people. Now, if you watch a 2-hour podcast with a lot of people that are in the quantum health space, they talk in very convoluted language, which doesn't make sense. The average person cannot understand it at all. So I'm going to give you guys some cliff notes on what to do before we progress through this video. First thing, go outside, sunlight. First thing, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Even if it's cloudy outside, even if it's raining, you can get outside, do it then. Midday, 10, 15 minutes again. End of the day, perhaps when the sun's starting to go down, 10, 15 minutes again. Now, these different spectrum, different wavelengths of light will impact our brain's ability to understand what our body should be doing in terms of the production of hormones at that given time. So if you do that throughout the day, your body recognizes morning, lunchtime, evening. Works really well. You know, you don't have to do all of this straight away. Even if you just get outside in the morning first thing, brilliant. Even if you're like me, sort of can't really get outside too often, it hurts to walk around and be in pain all the time, standing up all day long. It kills. Open the curtains, open the window up, just so you can get a bit of sunlight coming through. Obviously, sunlight reflects off objects in the room, so you'll be able to actually get some sunlight. Whether you think you're outside getting direct exposure or not, you're getting something, which is better than nothing. So it's very achievable for everyone that is listening to this. Now, the other part of it is turning off your phone screens, your laptops. I mean, on my phone here, I've got a red light filter which turns on at night. Pretty much usually 5, 6 o'clock when it starts to get dark outside for a lot of places around the world. And that just makes the whole screen go red. And it does work and is effective. Other little hacks, you can turn the screens off on your computer. You can put like a blue blocking filter over your computer as well, screens. You can wear blue blocking glasses, which I will produce a affiliate link below in the YouTube channel description section. And you can even buy an affordable red light therapy panel. Mine was £40, guys, and it does work, and I've tested it. It does work. You do not need to be spending £500 on these panels. Now, people say, yeah, but they're not good quality. They're from China. Well, all electronics are from China, guys, and they all do the same thing. So my take on it is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I've been using this panel now for about 2 months very effectively. So the times of day that I use it are when I want to de-stress a little bit. I'm very light sensitive, so I seem to notice a very good improvement in my energy levels, health and sleep by implementing this sort of thing. So typically I might finish up in the gym at about 11 o'clock at maybe mid sort of morning. Then what I'll do is I'll stick my red light panel on, lie next to it, close my eyes, just relax for about half an hour. And it gives me some therapeutic benefit, which seems very absolute. I also make my room go darker, things like that. So I close the curtains, things like that, turn the lights off. And that seems to be really effective for me at getting my stress levels down after the gym. Now, you don't have to do it this time of day, but I've used this purely out of experimental purposes, and it's been very effective. Again, assuming you get sunlight throughout the day, as I do. So there we go. To wrap things up, melanopsin and light exposure aren't just buzzwords. They're not just, oh, quantum biology, I'm the next step of carnivore. No, they're very real things. Are they as important as the diet? In my opinion, no, based on my anecdotal experience. And I would say that largely speaking, it shouldn't be that you 100% concentrate on the carnivore diet and ignore the light stuff. I'd put your focus in both things and just see what works best for you. Ultimately, I am a bit of a purist at times. I'll say, meat, fat, salt, water does the job. Then getting sunlight as much as possible throughout the day, grounding, getting a grounding sheet, grounding throughout the day, being out in nature. If you've got a dog, walking the dog outside, spending time with family, doing some activity that's appropriate for you. They're going to be the biggest health hacks, in my opinion. Now, you might find that some of these are more important to you than others. And I'd actually argue for me, going to the gym, doing some intense but safe resistance training is probably one of the most important things. Now, it's not top 2, top 3, I'd say maybe top 4, but you'll find what is important to you at a given time. So it depends what lever you need to pull. The only way you know what to do is if you pull each lever and see what happens. Now, hopefully, guys, you found that video useful. It gives you a bit of an insight into the role of melanopsin in the body, how it controls circadian rhythm, and also how it might impact your sleep. Thanks very much for watching. Please remember to hit like, comment, and subscribe if you have not yet already. Take care. build muscle and lose fat on the carnivore diet.